Welcome to Rivet and Roll.
I'm Amanda.
I'm Aaron, and that's Chip in the background that you can probably hear chasing his tail. And he's off.
In this video, we're going to talk about the maintenance that has been required for our Airstream Basecamp 16X, named Carmen, you might be familiar with. We've had Carmen for about 2 years now, and there's been some routine maintenance and some unexpected maintenance.
So of course, like with any machine, car, house, whatever it might be, a trailer... Oh my gosh. Chip.
All right.
Come here. Okay. Like with anything, there's going to be that regular maintenance that you need to be doing all the time, making sure that you're doing cleanings, making sure that the tire pressure's up in kind of where it should be before each trip, and winterization, dewinterization, those types of things. All of that has gone as planned and just part of the process for us. But there are 3 things that have cropped up that were bigger issues that required us actually to take the Airstream to the dealer.
The first thing that happened about 5 months into us owning Carmen. We picked up Carmen in March of 2021, and in August of 2021, we took a trip to Big Bear, California. And during this time, we went through a couple elevation changes. We had gone before in temperature swings, but we think part of that caused some of the window to pop off. And we do have a video that we'll link here to show the whole thing that happened.
Well, we just got back from some adventures. Amanda noticed the window on the door is coming loose at the top there. So this was a pretty quick repair, but we'll get to that in a second because this issue did become a broader, wider known issue to Airstream. They have now issued a recall. There is a link and page to the National Highway Safety Transportation Authority down below just to learn a little bit more. If you do own a Basecamp, make sure and check that out to see if you qualify, if yours is kind of included in the recall, and if you need to get that checked out. While ours ended up being pretty minor, and again, there's a video showing the details of what we had to do to get it fixed and get it back to the dealer. First stop, we made it down the mountain, and we're gonna check on our little window. So far, so good. Tape appears to be holding up. No extra spacing or anything, so I think so far so good. It could have been much worse. There are reports that some people have had it come off while driving down the highway, having a piece of glass falling off at 50, 60, 70 miles an hour. Obviously not a good scenario.
No. So luckily for us, we rigged some duct tape or Gorilla Tape until we had a more permanent solution. So everyone was safe with our situation. We were staying in Arizona at the time, so we took our Airstream to a local dealer at the time in Scottsdale, and they were able to fix it in under a week. And it really just involved getting some sealant around it. And while it wasn't in this recall, it was covered under warranty still. So it didn't cost us anything, and we were able to get it back quite quickly.
After a couple of days, we are here to pick up Carmen. Hopefully, her little boo-boo has been fixed.
She had to go to the Airstream doctor, so we're picking her up. She's been discharged. We got Carmen back, hitching up. It's all fixed. So they changed it, so it's a sealant now. Carmen is happy to be reunited with Diego. And I'm not sure, though, they said if it had been where we had lost the glass, it would have been a longer wait for it to be fixed.
Yeah, I think we got a little lucky that they just had the right sealant or adhesive that they needed at that actual dealer to take care of it. They would have probably had to order a whole new panel had we had that would have taken some time. The next one was discovered while we were de-winterizing. So obviously, winterizing, you're trying to take everything out of the pipes and get the antifreeze in there. And maybe I didn't do that 100% correctly on the last time, and there was a crack in one of the pipes. So as I was de-winterizing and flushing water all through the system to try and get that antifreeze out, water back in that we could use, I found some dripping underneath the wheel well, which ended up coming from underneath the shower. Well, that's no good. At first, I tried to fix this myself. I thought I was going to be able to do this because I understood what was the problem, and I was trying to tighten it up. The location and it just was a little too much. So we ended up having to get a appointment at the dealer.
So at this point, a lot of people had bought RVs and the maintenance waits were a little bit long. So I called them just for this simple leak, and they said that it would be about 3 months before Carmen could come in. So again, luckily we weren't down and out. We just decided that we wouldn't use the shower because we didn't want water to accumulate. But we camped at a lot of places where we were able to use the campsite showers. So we knew, all right, we're just not going to have the water pooling in that panel.
So months and months later, we finally get that appointment. We are on the way to the dealer service center with Carmen, and it was relatively easy. They replaced part of the piping and the clamp that actually tightens it all down. And Chip was able to get back in there. And although we don't use the shower with him, we were able to use that if we needed it instead of using the campsite showers.
It's not uncommon for leaks and water issues to happen over time with these mobile homes, basically, right? Like literally mobile, in motion, on the road. And so after one of our early trips in June, I noticed that when we got back, the back door on the inside, it looked like there were some water streaks. Oh, this isn't good. Drip, drip. Not great. We noticed there was like a little trail. I don't think you can, yeah, you can kind of see it right there. Aaron, you want to point to it?
Kind of all the way down.
Yeah, and now we can see it from up here.
I think Amanda found our culprit. There's a little gap here in the sealant, and it's even wet in there.
And it's right where it is inside. And sure enough, we kind of deduced that some of the caulking above on the roof was a little bit thin, and that some of the water was indeed leaking into the Airstream.
So again, I tried to take this on myself. I figured it was some caulking, and I did some research in the Airstream Basecamp groups and Airstream Attic groups on Facebook and found the exact type of silicone caulking that others were recommending and tried to seal it up myself. But it just didn't quite do it. We still had some water making its way inside.
Alright, well that's not pretty. But I did it. And it's out, it's not something we're gonna look at. So as long as it's functional and keeping water out, that's all that really matters. So obviously we will keep you updated on if that works or not. Hopefully it does.
So luckily they were able to address that problem with the previous appointment that we had had. Dropping off Carmen. Goodbye, Carmen. Right, Aaron?
Yeah. We'll see you later. You're good, all fixed up.
Get all fixed up. Unfortunately, this was not covered under warranty. I think it was only about 1 year for things related to recaulking. But the nice part was that when we brought it in, there was a 12-point inspection that they did as well. So they addressed the issues that we had, and then they went through this other maintenance list that we were keeping an eye on, but it was nice to have like a second set of eyes. That part was free.
So as part of that 12-point check, there's all sorts of things, but part of it was actually checking the caulking and sealing. So they have like a water pressure system that they use that I don't know the details of, that actually checks to see where water might be making its way in. A couple of other things, they're checking your batteries, they're checking some of the appliances, making sure if you do have a slide out that's working. Obviously with Airstreams, there's very few models that have slide outs from a very short period of time, but they're checking that type of thing as well, just to make sure that there is some basic function and all of your main systems are working as is.
So the cost of the roof leak was about $260. But all in all, that's really been the only maintenance that we've had to do after 2 seasons and a lot of miles.
If you want to know more about how many miles we've gone, tune in to our season recap, which will be coming up next, probably in the next week or two. And maybe somebody will get it right, and I'll have a little quiz for her to see how many miles we've actually traveled.
So be sure to hit subscribe to find out where in the world Carmen goes next.